AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from downtown Baton Rouge.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. Presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
Chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We are going to head out to Phoenix, Arizona on our way to Tacoma. Darren Urban next hour covering the Cards. Russ Mitchell in hour number 3. Oh, by the way, it's off day. I forgot. Yeah.
It's okay, Scone. We only do it twice a day every week.
Well, Hughes, I'll have you know.
It's hump day.
I'm not the ones with the button.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You're sitting there with a whole bunch of buttons right in front of your face.
Hump day.
Push the button, Muse.
It's hump day.
Darren Urban next hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Maybe Muse can remember his Twitter handle before then.
Hump day.
I got it too. I got it to you.
You had me spend the whole break searching the wrong Twitter handle.
It was the whole break.
I mean,
It's
it's pretty
hump
much. It's all during Sports Center.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Cardinals chatter.
Hump day.
Red Robin chatter.
Never said that.
It's hump day.
Hummingbird chatter.
Nope.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Blue Jay chatter.
Nope.
Hump day.
That could be a real one.
Hawkeye chatter.
It's hump day.
Extinct dodo chatter.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Cards chatter. Cards chatter is Darren Urban. We got Russ Mitchell in hour 3.
It's hump day.
Hey. Talk some booze with Taylor Calandro later this hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got a plumb ton to do, and glad you're hanging out with us here
Hump day.
on this hump day.
It's hump day.
Presented by Goodwood.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
So go to Goodwood
Hump day.
and let's hump.
It's hump day.
What are you laughing at, Muse? Nothing to laugh at there.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I thought it was a good
Good what?
good little plug there for Goodwood. That's all. I just thought it was good.
Hump day.
Why'd you think that?
Clever.
It's hump day.
I mean, I don't get why it was clever. What do you mean?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was clever. It's like, that works.
I mean, it was clever. I was just plugging the...
It's kind of like a play on word.
What was the play on word?
Hump day.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even remember what you said at this point anymore now. You said, oh, let's go to Goodwood and hump. Yeah, well, because it's sexual wellness. Hump day, all those things. It works.
I don't get it.
It's hump day.
You get it.
Mike.
your mind out of the gutter.
What day is it, Mike?
It's very disrespectful to our sponsor and our audience.
Hump day.
Very disrespectful.
It's hump day.
Were you going to say something? You were leaning into the mic.
Oh, no, sorry. I was waiting for this part.
Oh. Hump day bump.
I like that part.
Got me too. It's a good one.
Hump day.
All right, let's get cranking up here. We got a lot to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Tigers are turning their attention in earnest now to the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. So we do have Sonny Cumbie on the show tomorrow, the head coach of the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. A busy week. Texting with him earlier today. very sincerely understanding the challenge they have in front of them, but he is going to take some time to be with us on Thursday's show, so we'll look forward to that chat with Coach Cumbie on Thursday's AFR. As LSU turns its attention to Louisiana Tech, there's one more thing I want to look back at from the Clemson game. And it was one of the things that I noticed watching the game on Saturday, and I asked Brian Kelly about on Tuesday, and it was the fact that Ashton Stamps didn't see the field defensively. Ashton Stamps did not take a defensive snap for LSU in the football game. And I asked Brian Kelly why. Here was his reply.
Guys that, obviously give us the best chance to win.
I want you to start with the whole thing.
We're going to play the guys that, obviously give us the best chance to win. And he's a really good player. There's no doubt. But, when you talk about the rotation right now, the rotation was what we played on Saturday. But Ashton's got to stay ready. He knows that. This is a long season. We have great confidence in him and his ability to go out there and play at a high level for us.
We're going to play the players that give us the best chance to win. Yo, that is a big-time statement. And I don't think he meant that in any way as a slight to Ashton Stamps. I think my read there is that is more of an illustration of what kind of depth you have on this team now. Let me explain, okay? Brian Kelly said, that was sort of the rotation. Well, on Saturday against Clemson, Mansour Delane started at one cornerback spot, and P.J. Woodland started at the other. In the game, there were 58 defensive snaps for LSU, 58 defensive snaps. Mansour Delane played 55 of them. P.J. Woodland played 43. And then one of the maybe more surprising ones is that true freshman DJ Pickett played 25. That was your rotation. Those are the three players that took snaps at cornerback. And I want to illustrate this because, remember, Ashton Stamps 2 years ago as a true freshman played in 11 games with 4 starts. Now, that was the 23 defense. That was atrocious. But he played in 11 games with 4 starts. Last year, Ashton Stamps started all 13 games at corner and led the SEC in pass breakups with 14. Not led LSU, led the conference in PBUs with 14. That guy didn't see the field on Saturday. And I don't think necessarily it's a slight to Ashton Stamps. I think it's more of an illustration of how you've upgraded that position. Mansour Delane today, by the way, was named the Bednarik National Defensive Player of the Week. The National Defensive Player of the Week. After earlier this week, he was named the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. That's the guy on one side. DJ Pickett is a 5-star true freshman number 1 corner in the country who played 25 defensive snaps. And in 25 defensive snaps, true freshman playing his first game ever, 25 defensive snaps, DJ Pickett was targeted 1 time. Listen to me. Clemson, Garrett Riley, Cade Klubnik, all those all-conference receivers. They see a true freshman on the field playing his first game ever. They targeted him 1 time. Once. Because he's a 6'5 freak show that can turn cover and is in every receiver's back pocket the whole game. And so really, those 2 guys are going to be on the field. Then it comes down to Stamps Woodland, who's next. And P.J. Woodland got the nod. And quite honestly, it's something we probably should have seen coming. Back in spring football, this was March 27th. This is what Blake Baker said about P.J. Woodland in March.
PJ's done, and he's a defensive weapon. He's a guy, again, he's so smart, man. We put him at nickel, we put him at dime, I hadn't put him at safety yet, but he could do it in a pinch, but he's been really, really good.
Smart guy. By the way, remember, P.J. Woodland was a 3-star that Corey Raymond recruited when he got here. I told you, trust Corey Raymond's judgment. Clearly, they did. Brian Kelly, at the beginning of fall camp, this was August the 5th, talked also about P.J. Woodland's versatility.
He's a very smart player. So we can move him around, right? We can move him inside, outside. The field is a lot different when you're an inside corner versus an outside corner. Your landmarks are so different. And not everybody can play that position. So he brings that. He also brings an extra 12 to 15 pounds from last year. I mean, he was too light at times. So it became an issue relative to, tackling. That's not a question. We don't want him to be in a position to be matched up against, 250-pound tight ends every time. But he's not going to be. And he can play the outside position as an SEC corner. So that's a pretty good trait to have.
That was in August. So Blake Baker told you we love Woodland's versatility in spring. Beginning of fall camp, Kelly's telling you we love Woodland's versatility. You go to the opening game, Woodland's starting, and then Brian Kelly afterwards says he's going to play the players that are going to help us win. On Wednesday, on the SEC Coaches Teleconference, Brian Kelly elaborated further on P.J. Woodland.
Well, he earned it. We liked the way he was consistent in his performance in camp, and that led him to the starting position. But it will be closely contested all year. Ashton Stamps didn't play a defensive snap, and he was a starter for us last year. So it's depth, it's competition. That competition, the big difference in this program, in that it drives consistency day in and day out, because if you don't have that consistency, you won't be a starter.
I'm here to tell you, Ashton Stamps not playing was less about Ashton Stamps and more about the increase in the talent level on this team. Because Stamps showed you a year ago he's capable of playing boundary corner and being really good in the SEC. But when you add Mansour Delane and DJ Pickett and then the versatility of P.J. Woodland, when you're looking at your best 3 guys, it's them. But now you're talking about a guy who has, during his career, played in 25 games, started 15 times, and 17. 4 as a freshman, 13 last year. So he's played in 25 games with 17 starts, and that guy's your 4. He's your 4th best corner. That's the difference with LSU's defense a year ago and now. It's not just that your top-end guys are better. Look at Jordan Gilbert. Jordan Gilbert's played a ton of football. He's played 50 games, almost 50 career games over his time at Texas A&M and LSU. And right now, he's a depth piece in your secondary. What a luxury that is to have. He more than held his own, by the way, in that first half while A.J. Halsey served his suspension. It's the biggest difference. You've got quality depth. You can take Patrick Payton and Jack Pyburn as your starters, and then you can rotate Gabe Relaford and Jamari Butler, and you don't even feel a dent. There's no drop-off with these guys. The 5 defensive tackles you rotated, there's no drop-off with those guys. That's the massive difference. And Ashton Stamps not playing a single snap defensively is less about Ashton Stamps and more about everything they added. Now, I'll also say this. I do think Ashton Stamps is going to have a big role on this team. In the same way that Saturday was disappointing for Chris Hilton is going to have huge moments for this team this year. There are going to be games where it's Chris Hilton's day. But Hilton is a guy, is a stretch the field, over-the-top guy, and LSU just didn't take many shots. They took 3 shots where the ball traveled more than 20 yards in the air the entire game. One of them was to Darian Brown, one was to Bauer Sharp. I forgot the other one off the top of my head. But the bottom line is, it wasn't that day because of Clemson's pass rush, and the underneath short passing games with the receivers in space is what loosened everything up for LSU. There's going to be a game, it might be Saturday, that's Chris Hilton's day. It wasn't Saturday. This wasn't Ashton Stamps' day, but that day will come. And Stamps is going to play a lot on this team, and he's going to play a big role on this defense. But what a luxury it is when your 4th best corner is a guy who started 15 games and led the conference at PBUs a year ago. That's the difference in LSU's defense from a year ago to now, and why this team very well should be a playoff team. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR and the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. First home game, they will awaken the Valley this weekend. Make sure you're drinking delicious, ice-cold Bud Light, the refreshing taste of Bud Light on a hot tailgating day. What more could you possibly want? So stock up. Make sure you grab those white aluminum cans and the aluminum 16-ounce bottles with that officially licensed LSU logo. It's the white can this year as a hat tip and ode to LSU's white jerseys. Pick them up at great local retailers and drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Tigers. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review. We're presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Let me knock out a quick break. The New Orleans Saints on the practice field today as they begin in earnest their preparation for Sunday's opener against the Arizona Cardinals. Kellen Moore will be meeting with reporters here shortly. We'll let you know anything that he has to say. The injury report is due out later today as well. When we come back, however, we have new odds for the first quarterback to be benched and Rookie of the Year in the NFL. How these two correlate in New Orleans, I'll explain next on AFR.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. And, of course, over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys right now, they got the Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys Billboard Design Competition going on. It's super easy. Go to getgordon.com/billboards, getgordon.com/billboards, getgordon.com/billboards. If you want to get more info, learn all the rules, the regs, all that stuff, you can win up to $2,000 in prizes. They'll make a donation to a charity of your choice. And, of course, you'll have the opportunity to see your billboard all over town. So get creative. Start designing your billboard today with Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. It's getgordon.com, getgordon.com. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I'm glad you're rolling along with us to Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Taylor Calandro will be here in about 20 minutes or so, a little more than 20 minutes from right now. We'll do a little Bourbon Dictionary, so get your booze questions in. We're glad to have you hanging out. We will, just as a reminder, we will begin this week our sort of opposing media series where we have an opposing media guest on the show each week for both LSU and the Saints. So next hour, we'll talk to Darren Urban, who writes for the Cardinals website, has for a lot of years. He's on Twitter at Cards Chatter, if you want to give him a follow. So we'll get our first real look at Jonathan Gannon's squad as he and Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's such an enigma, isn't he?
Murray, present.
Yeah, that's not bad. I like it. Yeah, we could do it this week, sure. Look at Muse, trying to be on his A game a little bit, making up for screwing up the open of the show today. That'd be Muse. Good job. Way to be on your.
I didn't script the open of the show, but it's fine.
Well, yeah, you're on your. We both sounded like Belichick right there.
Be better.
Screw up the open of the game, the open of the show. But I do think Kyler Murray really kind of is a bit of an enigma. He such an explosive start to his career with coaches now. Kingsbury. Yeah, I'm picturing him like the guy who's in Washington now, Kingsbury. And it really feels like when he had the knee injury, everything just started to spiral. But yeah, a lot of people are looking at Arizona maybe as a bounce back team this year. Kyler Murray,
present.
Marvin Harrison Jr. They'll be a fascinating team to watch throughout this year. Oh, and tomorrow, the NFL season kicks off on Thursday. So Muse, Pauly, and I will give you our season-long NFL predictions. We do it every year. We give you our predictions. We hold ourselves accountable. We'll do our division winners, our Super Bowl, our AFC, NFC championship winners, and our Super Bowl winner. We do it at the beginning of the year. At the end of the season, we come back. We do it for every season. We come back and we'll make fun of ourselves by how wrong we are. I'll just spoil it. I'm going to pick the Bengals again. I'm going to keep picking the Bengals. I am. I'm going to keep picking the Bengals.
Yeah, stop doing it.
No, I'm going to keep picking them until they win it. It's like, Joe Burrow was the best quarterback in the NFL. He was the best player in the NFL last year. And that's not a homer take. He was the most efficient. He was the best player in the NFL. His team was not the best team, and that hurt him in the MVP voting. eventually, I believe, the best quarterback in the league is going to break through and win the Super Bowl. It's a matter of when it all sort of comes together. I don't know that this is the season it's going to happen, but I'm going to keep picking it until it does. Because eventually, it's like Jimmy with all the golf picks. You pick 10 golfers, you get the one right, the odds are so good it's going to work out. Eventually, I'm going to nail this thing.
I think you should get the reverse psychology and pick them to miss the playoffs.
I'm just not
and
that
see,
guy.
And see what happens.
I'm not that guy. I don't do all the reverse psychology, jinx. No, I'm just going to, eventually, Joe Burrow is going to win, I think, Super Bowls. Sean Salisbury said that on the show yesterday. And I think he'll be in the mix for the MVP, and I think that's who I'm going to pick. My bigger question is in the NFC, because I think it's harder to handicap for different reasons. The AFC is very top-heavy, at least perceived to be very top-heavy. Mm-hmm. You get the Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs have been to 3 straight Super Bowls. Oh, by the way, then there's Joe Burrow and the Bengals. And let's not forget that the Steelers, who are perennially in the mix, now add Aaron Rodgers. Could that cause them to break back through and be a contender? What are the Chargers this year? Year 2 with Harbaugh? You could say that.
Yeah,
Peyton and the Broncos made the playoffs last year as well. I'm not saying they're contenders, but it could shake things up when you get into the postseason. Look at what happened last year with Washington. Look, Detroit had the best record in the NFL. Washington and a rookie quarterback went up to Detroit and just hammered Detroit in their building in the playoffs. It can happen. I mean, there's landmines everywhere. So anyway, we'll do that tomorrow. I was pretty surprised today. I'm combing through some numbers, and we're always looking for content over at LouisianaSports.net. And we do have a sports betting section over at LouisianaSports.net. And I came across some numbers today for updated offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year odds. So we posted those. They're up right now. If you go to LouisianaSports.net in the Saints section, you can see them right there. And Tyler Shough, from when the odds were originally posted, has seen his odds gone from 75 to 1 right after the draft. Right now, he's all the way at 33 to 1. So you're talking about a pretty seismic jump for Tyler Shough. Ashton Genty is still the betting favorite, followed by Cam Ward, Amarian Hampton, Travis Hunter, Tet McMillan, Travion Henderson, Emeka Ibuka, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Matthew Golden, R.J. Harvey, Cam Scadaboo, and then at 33 to 1, Scadaboo, Jackson Dart, and Tyler Shough are all there at 33 to 1. So Tyler Shough has the same odds as Jackson Dart. Now, I know Dart's not going to start the season in New York, but I think the feeling from a lot of people on both of those guys is that ultimately they're going to win the job. Now, here's where I think this gets more interesting. I don't know how Shough could have odds that have gone from 75 to 1 to 33 to 1 when Spencer Rattler won the starting job. Oh, by the way, back on August the 21st, this was before the final preseason game, before they had named a starter. On August 21st, Kellen Moore said this.
Yeah, we're not going to get into a bunch of that. I think we're going to name a guy, and everyone's going to rally behind that guy. And that guy's the guy, and everyone's there to support him. And he's going to throw an interception at some point, and we're not going to have to look over his back. And he's the guy. And so everyone else has a really big-time opportunity to continue to develop. Again, this is a developmental opportunity for all these quarterbacks. They're all young. They're going to keep developing, and opportunities will present themselves for all these guys, and in some aspect down the line as well.
Okay, so there's Kellen Moore saying, guys going to throw in, whoever we pick, going to throw an interception. He's not going to be looking over his shoulder. Sounds great in theory. They named Spencer Rattler the starter. 5 days later, August 26th, he says this.
That's the important thing, guys. We're not getting into this QB debate throughout this season. Spencer's our starting quarterback. Tyler's going to keep developing. Quarterbacks, you need a couple quarterbacks in seasons. These are long NFL seasons. And so, I think we do value that we have depth there, and we'll have to navigate the rest of it as we go. But, we're really excited about Spence. He's going to do an awesome job for us.
Oh, yeah, you are getting into this debate all year. Oh, yeah, you are getting into this debate all year. Yes, you are. Because you're going to stink. And you got the 40th overall pick on the bench. And when you stink, everybody, what's the old cliche? Hey, Muse, who's the most popular guy on the team? Muse, help me out.
The backup quarterback.
Oh, the backup quarterback. What do you think's going to happen? Let's say they go out on Sunday and lose by 2 scores to Arizona. Oh, by the way, then they got to go play the Niners, at Seattle, at Buffalo. How you think that's going to go? Let's say you look up your 0-4, you stink. What do you think the pressure cooker is going to feel like at that point? And I'm not saying that Tyler Shough would do any better. I'm not saying Rattler Shough, your win-loss record is going to be different. I think it's negligible. I think you're just looking at who's the future of your organization. But I mentioned that it was interesting that Shough has seen his odds of winning the Rookie of the Year go up from 75-1 to 33-1, whereas Spencer Rattler is the betting favorite to be the first quarterback benched. These odds came out earlier today as well. They're up at LouisianaSports.net. By the way, this was Russell Wilson last year was the betting favorite to be the first quarterback benched. But Spencer Rattler at plus 250 is the betting favorite to be the first quarterback benched. After Rattler, it's Joe Flacco, Daniel Jones, J.J. McCarthy, Russell Wilson with a new team, Justin Fields, Michael Penix, Tua, Caleb Williams, Geno Smith, and so on. But anyway, the point is, the people who build the beautiful, shiny buildings out in the desert have seen Tyler Shough's odds of winning Rookie of the Year become twice as short, I guess is what we'd say, right? Going from 75-1 to 33-1. And Spencer Rattler is the betting favorite overwhelmingly to be the first quarterback benched. It feels like an inevitability where this is headed. I'm not rooting against Spencer Rattler. I was one of the guys a year ago who really liked picking Spencer Rattler in round 5. Very gifted player, humbled, ready to work. I hope he's great. But we're all football fans, and we've seen these stories before. Eventually, where coaches are hired to be fired in a league where there just isn't a lot of long-term stability, even in an organization like New Orleans, you just fired Dennis Allen in year 3. There's an eventuality. Kellen Moore is going to have to win. They're going to be patient with him, but he's going to go ultimately with the guy he picked. It's just a matter of when. And I think the best spot on the schedule for that could very well be week 5 when New England comes in. If the Saints start 0-4, which I think there's a really good chance they do, I don't think New England's going to be very good this year. New England coming into the Dome could be the shot to give Spencer Rattler his first start. We'll see if it happens. Excuse me. New England coming into the Dome could be the opportunity to give Tyler Shough his first start. We'll see if it happens. All right, we're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. When you walk into Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, they are all about creating the Lee Michaels experience. We say it all the time. And it doesn't matter what Lee Michaels you walk into, and they got 10 locations. And when Mr. Scott goes overseas and he goes on these diamond buying trips in India and the finest diamond mines in the world, because he has the buying power of buying for 10 stores, he's buying in such bulk and volume that they're able to pass along great prices to you. So you're going to get the great selection and the great price at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. We'll go around the SEC. When we come back, Taylor Calandro here in about 15 minutes from right now for a little Bourbon Dictionary. We're headed out to Arizona to talk to Darren Urban in about 45 minutes. Rush Mitchell in hour number 3. We got so much to do, and glad you're with us here on Wednesday's AFR.
AFR.
I would highly encourage, if you haven't seen this, go to any of the social media for Duplessis Builders and check out this photo that they posted. We all know that Trey'Dez Green scored the game-winning touchdown on Saturday for the Tigers. Well, Trey'Dez Green is now also an NIL partner with our friends over at Duplessis Builders. And there's a great photo of Luke, who handles a lot of the marketing for Duplessis, with Trey'Dez Green. And Luke is standing on, I don't know, a box with a bunch of tiling and coping to give himself probably about a foot's worth of height there to be a smidge taller than 6'7" Trey'Dez Green. It's a great shot, but it's a great reminder as well that Duplessis Builders, not only are they going to build you a beautiful pool that lasts with a 10-year workmanship warranty, Derek's a great supporter of the Tigers as well. So support the company that supports the Tigers. It's DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net.
after further review. Presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
The heat around Kalen DeBose is cranking up. It has nothing to do with the flaming spear I threw in the ground on Monday. Here was Dan Orlovsky on ESPN talking about Kalen DeBose.
Alabama's problem is their controllables. You watch this defense run to the football and you're like, where is the effort to the ball, the angles to the ball, the tackling to the ball? It's not a talent issue. It's a controllables issue. And I think it is fair to say, can Kalen DeBose survive September? And I know they have, I think, Louisiana Monroe coming up, and then it's Wisconsin, and then it's Georgia.
Survive September feels a bit ridiculous. But then again, with Alabama, I don't think anything that they do, much of what they do is really rooted in sensibility or reason. One of their fans poisoned a tree because a guy put a jersey on a coach's statue. I get it. Every fan base has their lunatics. Every fan base has their outliers. There's plenty of wonderful Alabama fans. I know a lot of them. Very candidly, that's one of my favorite trips to make in the SEC. Every time I go to Tuscaloosa, I'm always treated very well there. I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. Gordy asked me yesterday if I was interested in making the trip this year to Tuscaloosa. I politely declined. Probably for my health and safety. Probably a good idea for me not to go near Tuscaloosa. But September is ULM, Wisconsin, Georgia. Look, they'll beat ULM this weekend, I think. And they should beat Wisconsin because Wisconsin stinks. Then they got to go to Georgia. And I don't know that I see much of a shot of Bama winning in Athens. That's a night game, by the way, on ABC in Athens. So if they start 2-2, they flip the calendar to October. They got Vanderbilt at home, then at Missouri. Those are both very winnable games. But then again, we just saw what Tommy Castellanos did. Diego Pavia in that style of offense gave Bama trouble a year ago. What's to say it wouldn't do the same thing this year? Then they're at Missouri. Then they're home against Tennessee, which Tennessee looked mighty impressive against Syracuse. I think I still want to see more from Joey Aguilar and what that really looks like, but it looked really good with him replacing Nico. It looked more efficient than it did a year ago. But then they got big trouble, man, because they go to South Carolina, and if you couldn't stop Tommy Castellanos, you're not going to stop Rex Bex from running the ball. Now, Rex Bex can't throw, but I don't care. He doesn't need to throw against that defense. It's like watching LSU's defense a year ago. And then they get LSU, which I understand LSU's had tons of problem beating Alabama over the years, even last year. But that was largely rooted in the fact that LSU couldn't stop a running quarterback. Ty Simpson against LSU's pass rush feels like a pretty good matchup for LSU. Then they've got Oklahoma, which I don't know if I'm a believer in Oklahoma, but that's a tough game. Eastern Illinois, then they're at Auburn, which that's always going to be a challenging game and a rivalry game. I don't know that I believe that Orlovsky is accurate in saying that DeBoer might not make it through September. That feels excessive. But you could see a world where if they lose to Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, you're talking about a 5-loss team with 3 to go. I'm not sure that happens, by the way. I don't think the wheels fall off and this is like a 6-6 football team. I'm not suggesting that. I think sometimes we overreact to the first game. Similar to LSU losing to Florida. If you go back to 2023 and look at I remember this very well. The reaction to LSU losing to Florida State in 23, that was a lot of the feeling. People started looking at the schedule going, who are they going to beat? And freaking out. I'm like, look, they're going to have nice wins. They're going to have disappointing losses. It's the nature of a football season when you're an inconsistent team. And LSU went 9-3. I think this is probably a 4-loss Alabama team. I picked them 9-3 before the season. I didn't have them losing to Florida State. I had them 5-3 in the conference, and I'll stick to that. I still think they're going to go 5-3 in the conference, but now with a loss to Florida State, they're probably staring down 8-4. And the question is, does 8-4 get you fired? Andy Staples, who's now with On3, had a really interesting series of tweets earlier today, because I know I am in this mix as well. In my ridiculous video, I was dressed up like Chief Matt Ciola. I mentioned them scraping together $70 million for the buyout. Andy Staples said you need to understand the structure of a buyout is more important than the amount, meaning he points out Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops' buyout is half as much, but it's all due up front. The Kalen DeBoer buyout is paid out in equal monthly installments until December 31st of 2031. So it would be a hair under $1 million a month. So I'm not sitting here telling you that that's insignificant, but that is more manageable to spread out $1 million payments every month through 2031 than to pay $70 million up front. Like, that's a much bigger ask. So just something to consider as this season moves along, because I am a firm believer in hire fast, fire fast. And context matters. The situation you inherit matters. Like, Brian Kelly inherited a very bad situation. He needed time. He had a lot of early success, but he still needed time to build it. Kalen DeBoer inherited literally the greatest situation ever. Literally. From the greatest coach ever. And now he's lost 5 of his last 10 games. I mean, they are unraveling. So, it's like, do you reach out and catch a falling sword? I mean, that's the question Alabama's got to ask here. What do you do? Like, do you give him time to steady it, to get his sea legs, get his culture, all that stuff, and get it right? Or do you pull the plug because for fear of this going even deeper into the ground? That's a question that they're going to have to answer there internally. For whatever it's worth, Kalen DeBose on the SEC Coaches Teleconference was asked about this On3 report where it was about Tide boosters being concerned about the direction of the program. And he said, quote, "My message is that our team I think we have a good football team that can do big things this year. We got to prove it. We got to go do it." And he was asked about the boosters and their concerns. He said, "To this point, it's just been me being able to focus on football. I appreciate that." So he is he's downplaying the entirety of the situation around him. But all jokes aside, and me dancing around and everything, like, I think this is a very real conversation they're going to have in Tuscaloosa, because they have a standard. They're not going to watch this thing unravel. I mean, I'll tell you, when Ed Ogeron got the job in Baton Rouge, and they lost to Troy. It was Troy. Yeah, it was Troy. When they lost to Troy in 2017. Remember, they got waxed in Starkville and then lost to Troy. There were boosters at LSU already scraping together the buyout money. But then he made a very smart decision to put Danny Etling in because he knew he just had to win games to keep his job. And he did. And they steadied, and they went 9-3 and went to the Citrus Bowl and lost to Notre Dame, incidentally, and Brian Kelly that year. But he got another year. And they got Joe Burrow in, and that changed everything. So for DeBoer, it's really just about how do you find a way to steady this thing to win enough games to make sure you get another year to see if you can fix it. But if you start to look at it in terms of how that buyout is structured, it starts to make way more sense that if they do get to a 7-5, 6-6 type deal, like if the wheels completely fall off, I think they will run him out of town given how that buyout is structured. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. The official supermarket of the Saints, where they are helping you cover the spread all season long over at Rouse's. If you're tailgating on your Tiger Saturdays or your Houdat Sundays, make sure you get on by Rouse's because they got everything you need. I love when they say meet me at Rouse's, M-E-A-T. You need some meat for the grill this Saturday for your tailgate? Get on by Rouse's. Steaks, chicken, burgers, dogs, whatever it is that you're grilling up, Rouse's has got you covered, and they got all of your game day trays. If you need the drumettes, the ribs, the little mini muffalettas, the finger sandwiches, if you need the cheeses, the cheese trays, fruit trays, dessert trays, they got them all over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, Rouse's. This feels like home. All right, let me knock out a quick break. We're going to come back. We'll do Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro. Don't you move.
AFR. After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor's here. Yo, dude.
How are you, Matt?
Doing awesome, man. We finally got a home football weekend. I would imagine things are bustling as people are getting ready for their tailgates. What's new this week?
Absolutely. I mentioned it briefly last week. I mean, we didn't really get anything new in the past week, but I mentioned it briefly. We do have Crown Royal chocolate. It's $32, I think, $32. It's not that awful. There's a place for it.
Wait, say that again?
Crown Royal chocolate.
Oh, the Crown Royal chocolate. Somebody, after you said that, somebody actually asked a question that we didn't get to because I know they always crush me for you and I talk and we never end up getting to the questions. But someone asked a question about it.
Yeah, we got it last week. I tried it. I mean, it's fine. Like it's fine. I'm just so sick of this. It's okay. It's not the worst one I've had.
Why are you so? What do you mean you're so sick of it?
Just the flavors and stuff. It's just like, I don't know. But chocolate was kind of intriguing to me because I haven't really tasted a bunch of chocolate whiskey. But it's all right. It's not that bad.
Okay. What do you recommend for people that are looking to get out there Saturday tailgate a little bit? What's the hot item?
Well, I mentioned we got the THC stuff last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Those are always good to sip on. Bunch of RTDs still. RTDs are still very popular, ready to drinks, and there's a bunch of different ones now. Those are always super popular at tailgates. You don't have to mess with mixing and all that stuff.
That makes sense.
And just a bunch of whiskey. Tons of whiskey and tequila.
All right, let's get to questions. Greg says, ask Taylor, does he have any comment on Crown Royal moving production from Canada to the U.S.?
I saw that, yes. I just saw a blurb about it yesterday, actually a comment from somebody. Do I have I haven't really read about it, so I don't know exactly what they're doing. I just, like I said, I saw that was happening, and I don't know what the extent of it is either. I'm sure it has something to do with the tariff situation.
Okay. Let's see. Ask Taylor, what's a good budget tequila?
Sorry, I'm going to go back to that last question.
Yeah.
So what was the question about was he asking about how it's going to affect Crown?
I don't know. I think he was just asking your opinion on it.
Oh, I don't care. I'm still going to be getting Crown Royal regardless. So it doesn't matter.
People here drink a lot of Crown Royal, supposedly.
Yeah. So, a lot of people don't know this, but Louisiana is a test market for Crown Royal. It's one of the few test markets.
What does that mean? They'll send the flavored ones here first?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember a few years ago they still have them, but they have Crown and Coke and the can and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Those hit Louisiana. We were one of the first markets in the world to get those. We Crown Royal, Louisiana is a test market for Crown Royal, which is it's kind of funny because we are not a test market for really anything else. It's usually major cities, but for Crown Royal, Louisiana drink a lot of it.
I got another one about our guy Hold the Mayo with his Respect Your Body beer. Any update on that? Is it going to be available in stores or it's just at the at their brewery?
I think it's just at the brewery, from what I've gathered. So
that's disappointing.
I wish they would put that out because it's become a lot more popular.
Yeah, man. I mean, Devin's got a massive following. People would go buy that beer just to support him.
Yeah, and I've told the beat of that before. I'm sure they've heard it from other folks too, but anyway.
Jared asked Taylor, best bourbon to make an old fashioned.
Man, I like to make old fashions with rye.
Me too.
Just because it adds a little spicy characteristic to it that rye does generally, depending on what rye. So I would go with a Sazerac rye. If you want to go with something a little more high end, I love I love Knob Creek rye or Knob Creek bourbon too. Those make really good old fashions.
He's Taylor Calandro from Calandro's, Wine and Spirits Director over there. I got us down to about 20 seconds now. So we'll do it again next week. And maybe we'll get some cooler weather soon. We can start really diving into bourbon talk.
Absolutely.
All right, dude. Thank you.
That's Tiger. See you, Matt.
That's Taylor Calandro. It's After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Hour 2 coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
first home weekend of the year is here. You got to make sure you spend at least part of your weekend at Supper Club. Now, remember, they're closed Sunday, Monday. So that means maybe if you want to get the weekend started early on Thursday night, Supper Club. Friday night before a home game, it is the place to be. Supper Club, right there on Perkins. Or even Saturday on game day, pop on in to Supper Club. Have an amazing dinner. Enjoy the game at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. SupperClubBTR.com. I want to also remind you, while game weekends are an awesome opportunity, any night is great, especially September the 9th. We're 6 days away. That's next Tuesday. Dine with 9, supporting the Joe Burrow Foundation. 9% of all sales next Tuesday, September the 9th, are going to the Joe Burrow Foundation. Where? Only at Supper Club.